dun, 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 dun. Mission Impossible. I love Mission Impossible, you guys. I remember as a kid, oh man, I remember as a kid watching the the original series, but also the 1988. It was only one season. It didn't do very well, but in 1988 they did a reboot version of the television show. I think it was just called Mission Impossible: 88. I think is what it was. I love Mission Impossible so doggone much. And in 1996, when the first film came out, it was like I understand that everyone's like real big introduction to like the summer blockbuster movies was Jaws and Star Wars, like 1977, 1975 or 4 is when Jaws came, like whenever it came out. In the 70s, that's when people credit like the big budget, big blockbuster, action summer, blah, blah, blah. For me, it was the summer of 1996, and it was Mission Impossible. That was the big movie for me. And so ever since, I have been a huge Mission Impossible fan. I love Tom Cruise. I love Ethan Hunt. I love this whole journey that we've gone on. And now, director Christopher McQuarrie, who's directing both Mission Impossible 7 and 8, kind of simultaneously. I mean, like there's been reports that, you know, they're going to push the pause button on Mission Impossible 8, but they were supposed to film it back to back. Now it's going to have like a 2-month break, and then they're going to jump right back into production. But yesterday on social media, Christopher McQuarrie dropped a new set photo of Kittredge. If you've seen the first Mission Impossible movie, Kittredge is he's the director of the CIA. He's the one who's like, oh, we need to find Ethan Hunt. He's gone rogue. He's killed his whole crew. We need to bring him in and take him to justice. Well, now, thanks to Christopher McQuarrie, we have a brand new set photo where they're bringing back Kittredge into the movie. Back into the movie sphere. And here we have a Kittredge sitting on a train, reading a book. It's very like 1930s, 1920s noir, right? He's on a beautiful train. It's all decked out, has all the bells and whistles. It looks like old-timey school, like old school furnishings, but like very fancy furnishings. And there he is, Henry Czerny, in his glorious glory right there, just reading his book on a train. I'm excited to like, I always get excited when franchises like this bring back old characters that we're familiar with. We get to say, oh, I know that guy. Like, of course, the MCU does it all the time, but they're the ones who've perfected it. But I love seeing the same kind of concept pop up in other movies. We have no idea what like his story is going to be. Maybe he's just doing a quick little cameo. Maybe it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I used to be the director of the CIA, Mr. Ethan Hunt. Hey, do you remember that time 20 years ago when I tried to arrest you and put you in prison for the rest of your life? Yeah, water under the bridge. Hey, here's a new mission. Yada yada yada. Woof, Ashley. Like, clearly, I'm just a little excited about this. I'm just a little excited. It's just a set photo. Like, who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean it's going to be a good movie. Are you a fan of the Mission Impossible film franchise? And, like, what does bringing back Kittredge's character into the franchise kind of mean or represent?
I think it means a beginning to the close. Or I'm going to pull a Harry Potter reference. I open at the close.
Oh, no.
I think it is a last call
Oh,
for
no.
Tom Cruise. And I think they are wrapping up Ethan Hunt's long spy history, and they're going to pass the torch to somebody else in the movie. But I think bringing back Kittredge is probably that sweet goodbye to Tom. Sorry. I think Mission Impossible will continue to exist. I just think Ethan Hunt as a character will either be done or they'll try to James Bond it and he get recast and Ethan Hunt exists on, but I don't think so. I think Ethan Hunt is always going to be Tom Cruise, so I think they would have to just create a different spy with a different name and still use the Mission Impossible
I would agree with
structure.
that. This is something that this is a concept that they've been toying around with ever since Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which is Mission Impossible 4. The reason that they put Jeremy Renner in the movie, reportedly at the time, was that they were going to start seeding him in these movies and kind of make him the new face of the franchise. And then there was speculation that, they're not going to do that anymore because Jeremy Renner actually, turns out he's not as popular as an actor as we all thought he was going to be. At the time, it was 2012 or something. He was in Avengers. He did Wind River. He was doing he was Jason Bourne, or like he was in one of the Jason Bourne movies for a minute. And so I think people were kind of looking at like, Jeremy Renner's going to take over like the Mission Impossible franchise and Tom Cruise is going to go away. And then like Tom Cruise just never went away. And Jeremy Renner's role was diminished a little bit. I mean, it's not to say that they can't do that, but I kind of like Ilsa Faust, the character of Ilsa Faust played by Rebecca Ferguson. This is going to be her third and fourth film in the Mission Impossible franchise consecutively. So it's quite possible that maybe we know that she's been disavowed. I'm just going with your theory for a second here, Ashley. She's been disavowed by her own British government. She's kind of a rogue agent with no country, so it's very possible that in Mission Impossible 7 or 8 she's going to be absorbed into the IMF. She's already basically a part of Ethan Hunt's team. Maybe she's going to take over being like the new face of Mission Impossible. Who knows?
That's a good theory, for sure. I definitely think it's Tom Cruise's last film, purely because
That's
you
fair.
reach an age where you just can't keep jumping out of a bus, an airbus. I mean, you just physically can't keep
I
doing your
like
own
the analogy
stuff.
you used. You just can't keep jumping out of a bus, but jumping out of a bus would be one of the smaller stunts that he's ever done. Literally
I would just say airbus, but okay.
jumping off the Goodyear blimp. But yeah, no, I mean like he's going to outer space in an upcoming who's directing it? I can't remember the name. He's going to outer space. I mean, he learned how to fly fighter jets for Top Gun Maverick.
No, Tom Cruise can do it all. I don't doubt his ability, but I do doubt his face. Like it's just over. It's the certain time the studio is like, okay, we need a fresh young ingenue to keep this going, and he'll make his cameos or anything. But I really think this is the end for him.
Quick question before we move on. What are the chances the torch is going to be passed to Kevin Hart? Can you imagine a Kevin Hart Mission Impossible movie?
I think Simon Pegg would have a better
It's
chance
true.
because he's
It's
actually
true.
in the movies.
Anyway, guys, big question for you is, where do you think the Mission Impossible franchise is headed? What do you think the significance of putting Henry Czerny back in the films, reprising his role as Kittredge, is going to be in the films? Do you agree with Ashley? Do you think that they're wrapping up Tom Cruise's story, or rather Ethan Hunt's story? Or do you think Tom Cruise still has some life left in him? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what this Mickey Mouse Walt Disney World snow globe would want you to do. When you wish upon a star.